What is up, guys? Welcome back to the freaking channel, Walking on Water. In today's episode, we are gonna talk springer fishing. We're gonna talk Columbia River springer fishing. We're gonna talk springer setups, and I cannot wait because next freaking week, I am going down to the Columbia for 4 days. I cannot freaking wait to get down there. We're watching the dam counts right now. It's looking like 70-ish right now are jumping over the dam. That's Bonneville Dam currently. And man, we're just hoping that number spikes closer towards the end of the week, as it should, and we are gonna be right down there, walking on water style, right on top of these freaking spring Chinooks. So freaking cannot wait to get into this video. I am super freaking excited. If you can't hear it in my voice, I'm freaking trembling. I'm so excited. So I have not caught a river springer. Well, technically I caught a big summer Chinook last year, which was a springer, but I have not caught a fresh springer in a few years, and I can't wait. We are chasing the fish all season this year. Everywhere there's Chinook, freaking steelhead. We're gonna go sturgeon fishing later on in the year, so I can't wait to bring you guys a ton of amazing content and videos pertaining to fishing. So without further ado, we're gonna get into the setups, but before we do that, please like, subscribe, and share these videos, you guys. It helps me so freaking much. And if you do that, we're gonna enter you in to win 2 Scotty Lake Troll downriggers. I'm gonna post it right up here, a picture of them. Now, they are used. I have used them on my kayak. One of them is brand new, one of them is used, but they work amazing. There's no damage to them. And I figured instead of just tossing them or donating them to Goodwill, why not just give them away on the channel? And there's gonna be a lot more giveaways to come. So stay tuned, guys. Let's get into freaking spring Chinook setups on the Columbia River. All right, guys, first things first. Now, I was outside, I was in my garage, I was all set up to do the video on my new fully modded Pelican Catch 100, but we were supposed to move to Florida. We're not moving to Florida anymore. We're staying in an apartment. We have a couple months left on our lease, and it is freaking extremely loud here. And so, unfortunately, I had to move everything upstairs. We're in the kitchen again, but next week we're not gonna be in the kitchen at all, so I can't freaking wait. But let's talk rod and reel super fast, okay, guys? Cold water Okuma with a line counter on it. It's a great, small, lightweight reel, and a line counter is absolutely a must if you're targeting these fish. You wanna be able to use your lead properly and use your line counter reel accordingly so you can put your lures and your setups and flashers right in front of these freaking spring Chinook. Then if you catch a fish at a certain depth, you know exactly where you were, so you can go right back down to it and get right on top of those fish again. So now into the rod. This is a rod that I've had since I was a little kid. It's very near and dear to my heart. My uncle actually gave it to me back when I was a kid. And this is a Lamiglas Cascade Pro, okay? It's just a 12 to 25 pound, and it's a heavy action rod, and it's gonna be a perfect rod to sling 12 ounces all the way down to 6 ounces of lead that we're gonna be slinging down there on the Columbia River. So it's a medium to heavy action rod. It's a great rod, perfect bend in the back. You're gonna see that thump on those 360s perfectly on a rod like this. So now we've got the rod and reel out of the way. Let's get into the 3 different setups, 2 different setups really, a couple different ways of tying them up. And I'm gonna show you how to do that today, and we're gonna talk how I'm gonna fish, and hopefully, we also have a couple new things that we're gonna try out, but hopefully we get on top of a ton of giant spring Chinook. A huge question that people always have is, because everybody likes to dial in every single variable possible. Was I wearing one shoe? Did I have a sock on? You know, did I take a piss before I got on the boat? Who knows what it is, but everybody's got their superstitions and everybody's got their things that they think equate to catching a lot more fish. So a big question that people always have is leader length, okay? Leader length behind a 360 is really important. I'm not gonna lie. You don't want it too short because you don't want that, that cut plug or those spinners or, you know, a prawn rig to be whipping through the water so fast that the Chinook are looking at it and it looks like a freaking tornado under the water, you know what I mean? But if it's too long, there's not enough movement. So what is a good, reasonable amount of leader length? And I'm gonna tell you guys what I'm gonna be using, and I always add bead chains to my stuff, so it's gonna be a little bit longer. But I have a tape measure out, if you can see it on the table right here in front of us. We are going to go 36-inch leaders, okay? I'm gonna go 36-inch leaders because I have to account for the fact that I'm gonna tie knots on the end of this. And I'm also going to account for the fact that I'm going to put a bead chain on it. So when we're done, it's going to be about 38 inches in total. So I'm going to run a 36 to 38 inch leader, and we are going to tie up our first setup, and we are going to go ahead and pull out. We're going to try one of the new Simon cut plugs. It's not a Brad's, I know, and it already, I mean, first of all, first look, it looks freaking amazing, okay? I mean, chartreuse, we all know that the Brad's little mini cut plugs are just absolutely killing spring Chinook, and we know that chartreuse is just one of those colors. A little pink's added in there. It's just an absolutely perfect looking plug to me. The one downside that I've already realized about this plug, you can't open it up. You cannot put tuna in it, but never fear, I'm gonna wrap it, so it's not gonna really matter that much. But I also have Oregon tackle set tubes that if it's just not working for us, then we are gonna throw some scent in here and we're gonna get those fish to get linked up, okay? So let's just get into setting this thing up. 36-inch leader is what we're gonna start with. We're gonna rig up the Simon cut plug right now for you guys. And there's two different ways to rig these up, but we're gonna rig it up as a normal cut plug, and we're gonna get right into it. Let's talk about our hooks for just 1 second. Okay, before we tie up this mooching rig for the cut plug, let's look at the hook. As you can see, this is not a giant hook. The smaller hook profile is gonna allow your bait to move and work accordingly on how it's supposed to be working. You do not need giant 6/0 hooks to go down here and catch spring Chinook, okay? This is a Mustad freaking 1/0 hook, and we are gonna be using every single setup that we have today is gonna be using a 1/0 hook. I'm not gonna change them out. I'm not gonna this isn't gonna be my stinger hook. It's not gonna be just the trail hook. We're gonna use 1/0s for absolutely everything on our mooching rig today. So let's tie it up. If you wanna, I'm gonna speed this tie-up process up. If you wanna learn how to tie the non-slip mooching rig that you're seeing here in the video today, go over to my channel, look up how to tie a non-slip mooching rig. It's step-by-step on how to tie it up, and it will teach you how to tie this up. So let's get into this, and let's just tie this thing up really quick. All right, guys, there it is. A non-slip mooching rig for a cut plug, and I'm gonna explain why I tied it the way that I did really fast. So, unlike a prawn rig, where you want the loop of the hook, or the head, or however you wanna say it, the dome, you know, the arc, whatever, almost basically on top of the bottom hook's eye, I like to leave about 1/4 of an inch up to about 1/2 an inch of space for a cut plug, just like a herring rig, right? The first one's gonna be up under a little bit, and the back one's gonna travel out. So when it comes up and bites, if there is a short strike or something like that, it's hanging back there, and you guys can ensure, you know, more link ups than not if you're getting short strike, okay? So let's get into how we're gonna move and progress through this cut plug. Now, this is a pink and chartreuse cut plug, and I have 6mm Simon beads. I started out using Simon products a long time ago, back in the day when I was fishing the Columbia River down in Oregon. I was using Simon 3.5 blades in front of my herring, and it did an amazing job for me. And so Simon products have been very useful and productive in my fishing career so far. So these are 6mm Simon beads. Excuse me. Put a green one on. I'm gonna throw one pink, another green, and then one more green bead. Chartreuse is a huge, absolutely huge deal when it comes to frickin' spring Chinook fishing. So then, on the bottom of the Simon cut plug, you can see the uprisen ridge right there. That's actually where we're gonna just feed our line. Right up through the top, just like so. And there you have it, okay? This is going to be one of our main setups that we are gonna run behind a 360 flasher that I'll go through here in just a little bit. When we go through the overall, I'll show you the full setup. This is just one setup that we're gonna use that's gonna crush spring Chinook. Let's go ahead and measure our leader back out. Okay? 36, I'm going from the top of the bait, and I'm gonna go to the 2-inch because I'm gonna put a bead chain on it. Okay, we got a bead chain. Gonna take our leader, do a standard fisherman's knot, just like so. This is exactly with the bead chain, 38 inches long. Now, before we tie anything else up, let's grab the rod and let's go with this setup right now. We're gonna go top to bottom and we're gonna set the whole entire rod up as if we are gonna put it in the water right this second, okay? So, first things first, you're gonna grab your main line, which I'm using. This is just a 40-pound braid. First thing I'm gonna do, I couldn't get in time any VIP line lock sliders, so I picked up these braid-friendly sliders from Cabela's, and they have a big round circle in them like that for your dropper, okay? I'm gonna slide that on my main line, just like so, okay? Then, what we're gonna do next, another bead chain, and then we're gonna tie this onto our main line, just like so. You got a bead chain in this slider. As it pulls through the water, the slider is gonna come back in. It's not a VIP lock, but it's still locked in there enough to where these are gonna spin and the bead chain should activate. And so all of the beads will be spinning versus your line, okay? So we've got our dropper, we've got our bead chain. Simple as that. Now, the most important part, you have to tie on some sort of bumper in between your slider weight and your actual Pro Troll flasher itself, so that Pro Troll can get the proper movement in the water. If you do not do this, that lead is gonna weigh that Pro Troll flasher down and it's just gonna be spinning in a tight little tornado, okay? So a solid bumper length in between your weight and your freaking Pro Troll flasher is 24 inches, okay? So we're gonna take a bead chain off our main line and we're gonna tie it up again, okay? Another standard fisherman's knot. I know you're thinking, man, you're bead chain crazy. Yes, Pro Troll flashers are spinning constantly in the water, and they will 100%, if not properly bead chained, they will literally line twist every bit of line you have on. So bead chains, bead chains, bead chain, bead chains. Measure it out, exactly 24, okay? So we have a 24-inch bumper, just like so, 25-pound freaking mono, and it's ultra green. So we have our slider for our weight, excuse me, and then we go down to our bumper. Just like this. Down to our Pro Troll, okay? Just like so. So you have your main line onto a slider, down onto a bead chain, 24-inch bumper, bead chain, down to the Pro Troll flasher. Okay. Then, for the money, slide your bead chain on the end, down to your cut plug, Brad's cut plug, Simon cut plug, just like so. Doesn't matter what kind of cut plug you're running, what brand. I like Brad's, and I can't wait to try these Simons. This one actually looks amazing. It's similar-ish to the Mountain Dew. I know the Mountain Dew is a little bit more metallic. I was trying to get on some of those little mini gold and chartreuse cut plugs, but they were sold out, but no big deal. We're gonna try these ones out. Okay, so one more time. You have your weight slider, just like this on your main line, down to a bead chain, a 24-inch dropper, down to a bead chain, down to your Pro Troll flasher, down to your setup, okay? 36-inch leader on the setup. If you are asking, well, what kind of weight are you gonna be running down there, okay? So there's a couple different types of weight that I'm gonna be running, only in the cannonball class though, just the cannonball weights like this. This is a 12-ounce cannonball right here. I'm gonna run 12 ounces on one, and I'm gonna run 6 on another. I'm gonna suspend one rod with 6, and I'm gonna drop 12 down to the bottom, and we're gonna fish off the bottom earlier in the morning. As the day progresses, we're gonna adjust from there and probably drop them all down to the bottom, because as it warms up a little bit, the fish are gonna start dropping down. So 12 ounces of lead on the slider, just like so. Just pop it off, pop it on there. Just like that, okay? All right, guys, now that we've got through how exactly we're gonna set the complete setup up, let's go through and let's talk about how we're gonna tie up our spinner prawn rigs that we're gonna use to catch these big old spring Chinook down on the Columbia River. All right, guys, now we have our prawn spinner rig, our mooching rig tied up now. And as you can see, it's a little bit different than our cut plug mooching rig. The actual loop of the hook, the top of the hook right here, actually touches the top of the eye on the base or the trail hook. So when you're tying up this mooching rig, just remember you want the rounded part of the hook right here, okay, right here, to be touching or right above the eye of the trail hook, okay? The prawns that we're gonna be using for these spring Chinook, they're not really big, and so you want that trail hook right down over the head, as if when the prawn is swimming through the water, as it's following your pro troll, it's very natural, and when they come up and bite it, that hook's sitting right at the top of the head, okay? So let's get in to how we're gonna do the spinner setup, okay? I'm gonna do a full chartreuse one here. I'm gonna grab 6mm green beads, 5, 6mm beads, just like so. Gonna grab our Simon 3.5 chartreuse blade. Gonna grab an inline clevis, little inline plastic clevis, just like so. Okay, we're just gonna slide it over the line. Okay, slide one end through, and then wait. Hook your spinner blade over it, and then slide your line up through, just like that. Pull it tight, slide it down, okay? These prawn setups are actually perfect. You wanna know why? Because they actually do have a dual purpose, okay? You can fish these prawn rigs just like this on the lower Columbia all the way up, really all the way up until you get to the confluence of the Clearwater. And you can also fish these for summer Chinook too as a 3.5 spinner minus the shrimp itself altogether, okay? And it's the exact same tie-up. I caught my big Chinook on this exact setup last year during the summer up near Wenatchee, okay, in Washington. So these do have a dual purpose. You can use them in the spring and you can prawn rig them, or you can use them in the fall, or you can use them in the summer as a 3.5 spinner. Okay, now that we have our setup up, let's go ahead and look at the length. All right, guys. So we have our 3.5 prawn spinner setup, just like this. Okay, we have our bead chain at the end, and again, we're just gonna attach it right to the pro troll. As you saw earlier, the full setup is gonna be working in the water, just like that. Let's get in and let's rig up one of these prawns for you guys so you guys can see how to do it and how I'm gonna be doing it. Super simple, super easy. Let's do it. All right, guys. So how we're gonna rig up our prawn, just like so. We're gonna grab the head of the prawn. We're gonna take our top hook, okay? And you wanna go down through the meaty part, and I'm gonna try to hook it right through the back of the top of the shell of the head. Just a little bit. A lot of people go right down here through the arch, like right here, as it's arching over, okay? So down and through the arch. Okay. Pushing it in. And then out. And then your hook's up, okay? And then, as you can see, my trail hook is right down near the nose of the prawn itself, okay? Then after you got your hooks through, okay, and your hook placement's right, you're gonna grab your line, pull the tail up, and on a smaller shrimp, you might only need one half hitch. On a bigger one, you might need a couple, okay? So get it under the legs like so, and then pull it tight. And after your half hitch is done, you have a prawn spinner ready to fish for spring Chinook, just like so, okay? It's nice to spread out the legs. The hairs are still coming out the front. The hook is right there at the head, ready for that bite, just like so, okay? Tail is half hitched. Spinner's ready to rock. Hook this to the end of your Pro Troll flasher and fish it just like that. These are just 2 setups that we're gonna be running down there for Spring Chinook, but I'm gonna throw you in a little bit of a secret. And a lot of times, if the big thump from the actual 3.5 flasher isn't working, we are gonna throw on a Max Smile blade just like this. It's moon jelly or moon dust, whatever you wanna call it. And we are gonna run these on our prawn spinners. And these things should definitely do the job early in the morning. As the day progresses, if these things aren't getting hit, we're just gonna let the fish decide. Then we're gonna go up a little bit, but we're gonna fish hard, we're gonna fish strong. We're gonna be using 3.5 prawn spinners, as you see right here. Okay, 3.5 prawn spinners. 3.5 prawn spinners with a smiley blade on it, just like that. And also, we're gonna be running the Simon cut plugs wrapped with tuna. And if not wrapped with tuna, we're gonna be using the Oregon Tackle scent tubes, just like this, okay? You can pick these up online, you can get them at Cabela's. Obviously, this one's done some work. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Walking on Water. This has been a super fun episode. I know I'm in my house again. It was super loud outside, so we brought it inside so we can get the video shot. I cannot wait to go down to Oregon and Washington and get a fish for these giant spring Chinook. It's gonna be so fun, and I can't wait to take you guys with me the whole entire time. Thank you again for tuning in to Walking on Water. I will see you in the next one.